Humanity, as of what it is nowadays, really doesn't need countries anymore. Now, many people have been born and, well, programmed with the idea that countries are something and that culture and such are all regionally important. But apart from meaning, all of these aspects are nothing else than evolutionary stages. Culture, customs, traditions, they are just regional aspects and can simply be preserved without the necessity for borders. Now, what is a border? Now, a border is only a physical term because it basically is a, well, aspect of physicality. It is nothing else than something that holds, right? Just like the walls of a prison, a border is more or less nothing different because people have been indulging in concepts just because they haven't been trained to understand how their mind works. When one understands how one's mind works and the fact that meaning is nothing else than poison if you give too much importance to it, the point about everything that is created and supported by meaning, if it is bred out of ignorance, it kind of ends up as mm, inhibiting in a way. Because when people live in ignorance, the mind seems like a very good escape. Because by overthinking, by spending a lot of time, going through all sorts of concepts, which are nothing else than meaning, they have literally no meaning unless you give it to it. And obviously, people will give meanings because, well, they want distractions from their own pain. But a distraction from your own pain is just like the pill that you take for a headache, right? Or for any kind of ache. It just kills the pain, but it doesn't solve the problem. When it comes to countries, ever since they appeared, they have been just like religion. They have been nothing else than an aspect of separation. And obviously, once people are separated, they can be easily educated. And the point is, education can be done consciously or unconsciously. Considering that humanity has lived unconsciously up till now, and looking at the state of society as it is, we can say that the way education has been going on, it's definitely to our detriment, right? Because education can be limiting of others or can be setting free for others. Because the mind is nothing else than a tool for survival. And if people dive into the mind, the reason why people would dive into the mind is because they are afraid of what they are. What one truly is an aspect of spirituality. Spirituality means going beyond the mind. People who are obsessed with the mind and call themselves spiritual, they're just making fools out of themselves because the mind and spirituality can't go together. One has to transcend the mind and basically the limitations of the physical body to become spiritual. A country is just like a physical body. It is an aspect of hindrance. It is an aspect that allows a certain movement, a certain set of freedoms, just like the physical body allows one to perform certain actions. But there will always be the maximum limitation. There are things that cannot go beyond, right? There are certain things that cannot be done beyond the limitations of the physical body. Now, when it comes to countries, it's the same thing, because a country is just like a physical body. It is a limitation, right? It is just like a cell, it is just like a physical body, it is just like a prison or whatever, right? Physicality means limitation, and the point of countries is that you can control people, especially if they are ignorant, because you can teach people to behave in a certain way that fits you, right? That's how countries usually have been ruled. And usually it has been a chieftain. In tribal periods, it's always been a chieftain. Now, a chieftain is needed when people simply give their power to someone else because they wouldn't consciously do anything to improve their life. That's why a chieftain is needed, because the chieftain is basically the slave of the tribe. They can actually have all the power through ignorance of the people, because whoever doesn't do anything for their own good, others will do. if you don't believe in something that will make you greater, you will easily fall for something that is given to you by other people. And that's basically most likely not gonna be something to lift you up, right? To make you feel better about you and to actually help you towards become a better version of you. When it comes to countries, then later forms of government have been that of rulership, right? Rulerships through a few types of people, right? A few numbers of people, a small number of people, right? Like monarchy and, well, any other similar form. Even democracy, right? It is just an illusion because if we take the name into account, democracy means the power of the people. But what is your power? Because even if you look nowadays, the only power that you have is to choose, well, to actually vote for the party that you want to represent you, right? But that is not even, 100% sure, right? And it's not that, the ruling party that comes doesn't do, illegal things to ruin, to win, the right to rule, right? So the point is, all of these forms of government, right? They are called governmental forms, right? But they are called governmental. They are meant to rule over the minds of people. Because as long as something is created out of ignorance, it's not gonna be useful for humanity, right? They're just gonna be tools for, self-enslavement. If people have a low esteem, they will easily want to be abused. And a country is an easy way to achieve that. Because if you teach people certain things and you repeat those things in their life, they will simply embrace it for their comfort zone. Why do you think your whole life is nothing else than a cycle? Because a cycle means karma. Karma means a wheel, but it doesn't mean a wheel, it means a cycle. Because a cycle means something that you can't escape. You start it and you can't get over it, so you're gonna repeat it again and again and again. That is also why life exists. Because when people create karma, they will go again and again through the cycles of re-embodiment, right? And with countries, there is always going to be a lot of pain because everything that is created through ignorance, well, is only going to breed more suffering. And countries, people need countries because of ignorance. When you have ignorance, you will always believe in creeds, religions, all sorts of beliefs like this. Gender differentiation, because all of these exist as long as people are slaves of their own mind. When people realize that the mind is just a tool for survival and transcend that, they will simply open themselves to love. Love is a vibration that simply flows through people. It's not something that you feel, it's something that you allow to flow through you. And once you allow that to flow through you, you will feel much more pleasant to the other people, because if you allow love to flow through you, it simply balances certain aspects within you. So all concepts and all meanings are only created and accepted just because people are ignorant, just because people are running away from the responsibility of making their lives better. So all this being said, hopefully you appreciated this video, hopefully you found it useful, you are appreciated as well. Take care of yourselves. Ferenc Board signing out.